Where's the mic?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Ben Rolands Igbapa. I represent Ethiopia West, and by the special grace of God, we're from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from Mr. Ajaru Felix O. of 5 Alex Close, Ogbimi Drive, Sapele, Delta State. The petition is on the demand for review of his wrongful dismissal by Nigeria Customs Service and a passionate appeal to convert the wrongful dismissal to retirement. Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission and leave of the House, I beg to lay it before the
Word and lay a petition. Down. Yeah, mate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Magaji Dawa Liu, member representing Brunei for GPR constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. My honorable colleagues, I rise to present a petition on behalf of a Nigerian called Alhaji Idiris Momo from Edo State against First Bank Nigeria PLC. I wish to request for your leave to lay the petition, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
A petition, sir. Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Honorable Comrade Chinedu Oga Owen. I represent Ezza South Ikwo Federal Constituency. I'm from Ebonyi State. Mr. Speaker, I have two petitions from OCO Emmanuel Chamber and the same OCO Emmanuel Chamber from Grave Frank Nigeria Limited from my constituency for diversion of payments made for Grave Frank to another company by one agency. Mr. Speaker, I hereby submit the petition.
Go ahead and lay a petition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Honorable Ibrahim Kunle Olarwaju. I represent the entire people of Moba, Ido-C, Legimeji Federal Constituency. I am from Ekiti State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from one of my constituents in the person of Kainde Fadansi against the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps on the Civil Defense and Security Corps on the payment of his salary, which was withheld by the establishment. Mr. Speaker, I seek your leave to tender the said petition.
Please go ahead and lay a petition. Please present to the House. Honorable Jah. Jah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Ahmed Babao is my name. I represent Chibok, Dambua, and Goza Federal Constituency, including the remaining 109 not yet recovered Chibok girls. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to come under Order 8, Rule 4, to present a matter of urgent public importance on the need to urgently rescue Pastor Bulus Yukura of PME EYN LCC number 1 of Chibok local government in Chibok Dambuwa Goza Federal Constituency of Borno State as a result of Boko Haram captivity. I so move.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I am Jatau Mohammed Awal, representing Zaki Federal Constituency. I am from Bauchi State. Motion moved by my colleague is hereby humbly supported. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. First, I prefer to the petition led to Committee on Public Petition, and then your Honorable Jai can go ahead and take your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. The House note that on the 24th day of December 2020, Boko Haram attacked Pemi village of Chibok local government area of Borno State. Also note that the village was burnt to ashes, 8 people were killed, 2 persons were adopted, and various food and other items were destroyed and carted away from these villagers during the attack. Aware that 1 person that was abducted was Pastor Bulus Yukura. Aware that on Wednesday, the 24th day of February 2021, the Boko Haram released a video clip showing Pastor Bulus Yukura clamoring for help and giving him 1 week to facilitate his release. Worried by the continuous closing of 1 week period given by the insurgents, which expires on Thursday, the 4th day of March 2021, concerned that at the expiration of the deadline, anything can happen to Pastor Bulus Yukura. So the House note that the House should intimate, that is the prayers of the motion, the House should intimate the federal government to do everything possible to secure the release of the victim before the deadline. 2, that the federal government should come to the aid of the families of the deceased persons and the victims whose houses were burnt to ashes, food items and other materials carted away by directing NEMA, NEDC and relevant agencies to alleviate their sufferings. I so move.
Colleagues, this is a very short motion and it's burden on security. So I would rather look for a seconder and then put the question. Just seconder and then we put the question. Yes, sir. Honorable Buba.
It's on now. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Yusuf Buba Yakub. I represent Gombe Hong Federal Constituency from Adamawa State. I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Jaha. I so second.
It's a very stable motion. I don't water it down. Please. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Yes, Honorable Salami, your point of order.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Honorable Speaker. I'm Dr. Abdullah Balarabe Salame, member representing Wadaba Ilela Federal Constituency from Sokoto State. Your Excellency, I'm coming under Order 8 Rule 4, matters of urgent public importance. One Mr. Speaker to allow me to move motion for the urgent need to provide relief materials for victims of banditry attacks at Amarawa village in Ilela local government in Ilela Wadaba Federal Constituency, Sokoto State. I hereby move, Your Excellency. I also want the House to suspend all relevant rules to allow this motion be taken now. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Gimbeduku.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and our highly respected colleagues. I'm Honorable Aisha Jibril Duku, Gimbia Duku, member representing Dukuna for the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Gombe State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Dr. Salame. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Salame, go ahead and take the motion.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Honorable Speaker. As I moved earlier, Honorable Speaker, this motion is on urgent need to provide relief materials to the victims of banditry attacks at Amarawa village in Ilela local government in Wadaba Ilela Federal Constituency, Sokoto State. Note that the rate of kidnapping and banditry attacks in Ilela local government and surrounding communities within the federal constituency has been alarming, especially given the monumental consequences of such menace. Worried that on Sunday, 28th February of this year, 2020, bandits attacked Amarawa village in Ilela local government, which resulted to the killing of certain people whose death was confirmed at Usman Damfodio at Ilela General Hospital yesterday. Further worried that six people who were brutally injured are presently receiving treatment at Usman Damfodio University Teaching Hospital in Sokoto. The staff that the rate of kidnapping and banditry attacks in the area and neighboring communities in recent times left many victims out of their homes without means of livelihood and in terrible condition of living without basic necessities of life. Resolve, urge the House to appeal to the Ministry of Humanitarian, Disaster and Management and Social Development of National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to provide relief materials to the affected victims in the villages to ease their difficult condition of living. And urge the House to observe 1 minute prayer for the victims of the attack. I hereby move. Your Excellency, thank you.
Second. Yes, sir. Yeah, Mike again.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Umar Abdulkadir Sariki. I speak for the people of Katagun Federal Constituency and right to second the motion as moved by Honorable Salame. I so second.
Colleagues, this is a vested motion, and so I want to put a question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. The two motions refer to 11 committees of the House. Respected colleagues, the first business of the day is presentation of 10 bills. I now invite the clerk to read the short titles of the bills.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Chartered Institute of Forensics and Certified Fraud Examiners of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. University Teaching Hospitals Reconstitution of Boards etc. Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. National Appreciation for Security Agencies Bill 2021, first reading. National Honors Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Banks, Motor Vehicle Loans, Miscellaneous Provisions Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Army Color Prohibition of Use Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Veterinary Surgeons Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Niger Delta Development Commission Establishment etc. Repeal and Enactment Bill 2021, first reading. Federal Capital Territory Outdoor Signage and Advertisement Agency Bill 2021, first reading. Community Sheriff's Establishment Bill 2020, first reading.
Respected colleagues, an announcement. This is to inform honorable members that the review standing orders of the House of Representatives is ready for collection. All members may wish to send their aids along with photocopy of the ID card for the purpose of collecting some of the Secretarial Committee, same at the Secretarial Committee on Rules and Business, Room 6, White House, signed on Hassan Flatter, Obaka Hassan Flatter. Thank you. Respected colleagues, in respect of the motion moved by Honorable Salami, can we rise for 1 minute prayers? Amen. Respected colleagues, the second business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Army on the purported voluntary resignation of over 365 soldiers standing in the name of Honorable Abrazak Saad Namdas. Honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the committee on Thursday, 23rd July 2020. The report is ready for presentation. I now invite Honorable Namdas to present the report.
Hello. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to move that the House will receive the report of the Committee on Army on the purported voluntary resignation of over 365 soldiers. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Seconder. Yes. FCT.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Blessing Onyeche Onu, and I represent the good people of Otupo Ohimini Federal Constituency. I am from Benue State. I rise to second the bill, that the bill be removed for the second reading. I so second. Is it the bill or the motion? Yes. Oh. Okay. I'm very sorry. I rise to second that the report be laid to the Honorable Speaker. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. You may go ahead and lay your report. Respected colleagues, The first order of the day is consolidation of two bills. All members may wish to note that the bills are on the same subject matter. I now invite the Chairman Committee on Rules and Business to move that the bills be consolidated.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I'm Abubakar Saflata. I represent Bermuda Africa, Samaguri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move for the consolidation of two bills as follows. One, a bill for an act to repeal the Advertising Practitioners Registration, etc. Act, Chapter A7, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and enact Advertising Practitioners Registration, Licensing, etc. Bill for the establishment of Council for Advertising Practitioners as the apex regulatory authority for the Nigerian advertising profession and practice and for related matters, HB 117. 2. And a bill for an act to amend the Advertising Practitioners Registration, etc. Act, Chapter A7, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to ensure smooth operation of the Council and for related matters, HB 518. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Seconder, Honorable Raji. Honorable Raji.
Mr. Speaker, I need your protection, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, my name is Wale Raji. I represent the Federal Constituency of Lagos State. I write a motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Who's that your colleague? Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's a bit. Respected colleagues, the second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend Section 32A of the National Agency for Population Programs and Development Act, CAP, N2 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 by adding, and the notice shall take effect upon being received by the minister immediately after the word minister and following matters standing in the Honorable Olufemi Adebanjo. All members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 20th February 2020, and now invite Honorable Adebanjo to move that the bill be read the second time. Flatter. Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Honorable Olufemi Adebanjo. I represent Alimosho Federal Constituency of Lagos State. A bill for an act amends Section 32A of the National Agency of Population Programs and Development Act, CAP N2, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, by adding the notice that take effect upon being received by the minister immediately after the word minister and for related matters, HB 725. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Seconder. Yes, sir.
Silence at the back. Silence, please.
Silence at the back, please. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, Mohammed Omar Biya is my name. I represent all the people of Martina and Kayama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kwara State. I stand to support the motion ably moved by a colleague I so support.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Honorable Adebanjo, go ahead and lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The bill seeks to amend Section 3(2)A of the National Agency for Population Programs and Development, Act Cap 2N24, LFL 2004, by adding the notice shall take effect upon being received by the minister immediately after the word minister. Thank you.
Respected colleagues, I think it's a very straight forward bill. So I now put the question. Those in favor of the motion that the bill be read second time say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend Section 3, subsection 2A of the National Agency for Population Programs and Development Act, Cap N2, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, by adding, and the notice shall take effect upon being received by the minister immediately after the word minister and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill is referred to Committee on Population. Respected colleagues, third order of the day, commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish a sustainable development fund charged with the responsibility of imposing, operating, and maintaining the funds for the attainment of sustainable development goals in Nigeria and related matters. Standing now, Honorable Abdulrazak Saad Namdas. Honorable members will recall the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 17 July 2020, and now invite His Excellency Honorable Namdas to move the bill read the second time.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Abdulrazak Saad Namdas. I represent the people of Ganye, Jada, Tongoma, Belwa. I am from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to read for the second time a bill for an act to establish the Sustainable Development Fund charged with the responsibility for imposing, operating, and maintaining the fund for the attainment of sustainable development goals in Nigeria and for related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Kusada.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Honorable Abubakar Yahya Kusada. I represent Kankia Kusada Inga Federal Constituency, and I rise to second motion moved by
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Namdas, please lead the debate.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, once again, my name is Abdulrazak Namdas. I represent the good people of Ganye, Jada, Tongoma, Belwa. I am from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, I'm delighted to lead a debate for an act to establish the Sustainable Development Fund charged with the responsibility for imposing, operating, and managing the fund for the attainment of sustainable development goals in Nigeria and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that Nigeria is one of the countries in the world that is operating sustainable development goals. In fact, you could recall, Mr. Speaker, that the Millennium Development Goals expired in the year 2015. Since then, in 2015, up to this moment, Sustainable Development Goals has taken place. It is tagged Agenda 2030, meaning that the Sustainable Development Goals itself will expire in 2030. Another form of goals will be replaced by that time. Mr. Speaker, the Sustainable Development Goals is wider in scope than the Millennium Development Goals. And for the purposes of my colleagues to understand the Sustainable Development Goals, the goals is made up of 17 goals. Mr. Speaker, I would like to read just few of the goals. Number one, Sustainable Development Goals is meant to end poverty in all forms everywhere in the world. Secondly, is to end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. 3, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning for opportunities for all. 5, ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. Promote sustained, inclusive and sustainable economic growth. 7, reduce inequality. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that as laudable as these goals are, Nigeria as a country ratified the SDGs at the United Nations. Also took immediate steps to distill the development framework of the country. To demonstrate its keenness to implement the SDGs seamlessly, the government of Nigeria started developing its planning frameworks so early. And I want to add, Mr. Speaker, that the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, inaugurated the Nigeria Private Sector Advisory Group aimed at mirroring the global private sector on the 28th of February 2017. And clearly, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that against this background, this bill is proposed to provide a legal framework that will establish a fund with well-articulated administrative structure that will facilitate the attainment of sustainable development goals in Nigeria. What I'm saying is that since Nigeria is operating on SDGs, and even in the House of Representatives here, we have a committee on SDGs. The SDGs is oversighting, the committee is oversighting SDGs. And therefore, all we need is to have a legal teeth that will give the SDGs a smooth sail. And that's why I'm calling on my colleagues that there is need for them to support this establishment of this fund. And I want to say, summarily, Mr. Speaker, that this bill contains about 36 clauses. Clause 1 provides for the establishment of the Sustainable Development Fund. Clause 2 provides for the imposition of Sustainable Development Levy. Clause 3 provides for assessment and collection of levy. Clause 4 provides for establishment of the board for the fund. Clause 5 provides for the functions of the board. Clause 6 and 7 provides for powers and functions of the board. Part 2 of the bill provides for staff of the fund. The part made provisions for appointment and removal of secretary and the staff of the fund. Other clauses for this part include budget provisions, expenses award, etc. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I humbly urge you to support this legislative proposal in order to have a legal framework that will provide for the smooth operations and management of SDGs in Nigeria. My colleagues, I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Esteemed colleagues, I think the presentation is quite very soothing and apt. I don't put the question that those in favor that bill be read second time say aye. Against say nay. Let's have it. Clerk is invited to look to the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish the Sustainable Development Fund charged with responsibility for imposing, operating and maintaining the fund for the attainment of sustainable development goals in Nigeria and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to Committee on Sustainable Development Goals. Respected colleagues, the fourth order of the day is a motion calling for the construction of Kolal Bridge in Tungamba Daki Community, Jiwa, Ward of Abuja Municipal Area Council. Standing the name of Honorable Mika Yohana Jiba. Honorable Jiba is invited to move the motion.
Yes. Mr. Speaker,
My name is Honorable Mika Johanna Jiba, a member representing the good people of Abuja Municipal Area Council and Buhari Area Council Federal Constituency, FCT. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Abuja. Mr. Speaker, before I take my motion, let me use this opportunity to thank you and also to thank all my colleagues. During the death of my wife, Mr. Speaker, you did not delegate. You were there in person to condole with me, to sympathize with me. Mr. Speaker, I want to say I'm grateful, and all my colleagues. I'm grateful. Mr. Speaker, about my motion. Call for construction of collapsed bridge in Tunga Madaki community, Jua Ward of Abuja Municipal Area Council. The House note the collapse of Tunga Madaki Bridge linking Jua community with other communities in Abuja Municipal Area Council for Federal Capital Territory. Also note that the collapse of the bridge has resulted in cutting off of Tunga Madaki from other community in Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC, bringing social and economic activities to a halt with people and students unable to attend schools. Aware that Tunga Madaki is a large settlement that is in proximity with Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, and many civil servants, airport staff, and Nigerians doing their legitimate business are resident in the community. Concerned that the bridge, which was constructed more than 50 years ago as the only to and fro Tunga Madaki community, has degraded so much that it has become a death trap, especially during the rainy season. Worried that agricultural produce often go to waste in the course of transporting them to the market due to the collapse of bridge, as indigenous of Tunga Madaki are the highest producers and suppliers of tuberculosis in the Federal Capital Territory. Also worried that women and children in the surrounding villages of Tungan Wakili, Tungan Ashara, Tungan Nasara, Tungan Jua, and Tungan Kwaso, and others cannot access basic health care and schools and the market for the fear of being victim of the flooding in the rainy season. Disturbed, despite the persistent cry of the residents of communities around the area for remedial action of the bridge, nothing has been done by successful Federal Capital Territory administration to alleviate the situation, causing the people to undergo untold hardship. Also disturbed that the continuous abandon of the Tunga Madaki Bridge, which was served as a link to area council and the FCT, is inhabiting permitting the transportation of agricultural produce from the provincial farmers community in the city center. Cognizant that if urgent action is not taken, especially in the view of the current economic social, the people of the affected community will continue to suffer economic hardship and treat their life and property due to the perennial flooding ravaging the area. Resolve, urge the Ecological Fund Office to urgently deploy the technical team to assess and repair the Tunga Madaki Bridge. 2, mandate the Committee on Federal Capital Territory and FCT Area Council and Auxiliary matter to liaise with the Federal Capital Territory Administration with a view to taking expedite action to reconstruct the bridge. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Seconder, Deputy Minority Whip or Leader.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm Dr. Richard Bandi. I represent the people of Kasinala, Okum, Logo Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion moved by my colleague, Honorable Yohuma Mika. I so second. Thank you.
Respected colleagues, this is an infrastructure-related motion. So I now put the question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Respected colleagues, I want to bring the attention of Honorable Ipo to please kindly meet the leader of the House before we revert to his own motion. Honorable Jonathan Ufo, sorry, the mover of the next motion. Please kindly liaise with our leader of the House. We'll get back to you. But meanwhile, meet the leader of the House. Thank you. Respected colleagues, the sixth order of the day is a motion on the need to ascertain the level of food security in Nigeria, standing now Honorable Dennis Idahosa. Honorable Idahosa is invited to move the motion. Idahosa. Not on the floor. Step down by the leave of the House.
It's not on the floor. I move that the motion be stepped down by the leave of the House. I so move.
Motion stepped down by the leave of the House. Respected colleagues, the seventh order of the day is a motion need to address the challenge of open defecation in Nigeria, standing now Honorable Sada Soli. Honorable Soli is invited to move the motion. Honorable Sada.
The leave of the House. I so move. I moved.
Respected colleagues, motion stepped down by the leave of the House. My respected colleagues, the eighth order of the day is motion on the establishment of direct debit system for payments of utility bills by the federal ministries, departments and agencies. Standing now Honorable Uju Kingsley Chima. Honorable Uju is invited to move the motion. Not in the House? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Uju Kingsley Chima, member representing Ohajebima Oguta Oru West Federal Constituency of Imo State. Motion for the establishment of a direct debit system for payment of utility bills by federal ministries, departments and agencies, that's MDS. House results. House knows that internally generated revenue is a major factor in the economic growth of every country and should at least represent 50% of the gross national income of an economy of a country to be stable. Also knows that Section 80, Subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, provides that MDAs should pay their internally generated revenue into the consolidated revenue of the Federation. Further notes that Nigeria relies on about 90% of internally generated revenue through crude oil as a source of the nation's gross national income. Aware that the federal government also relies on payment of utility bills like water and electricity bills as a major boost to its internally generated revenue. Recall that in order to ensure that utility bills are paid, the federal government introduced laudable measures where individuals and the private and public sectors pay promptly by privatizing some sectors of the economy like the electricity sector. Worried that the MDAs are often accused of not paying utility bills to the bodies responsible for the collection, thereby making it impossible to remit the funds to the government, and this has adverse effects on IGR. Conscious of the urgent need to establish and devise workable means of ensuring that MDAs pay their utility bills to the government through direct debit mechanism of debiting the accounts of all MDAs at the end of each month in conjunction with the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. Resolves to mandate the committees on appropriation, finance, and public accounts to interface with the head of the ministries, departments, and agencies to initiate a workable strategic plan to enhance the efficient payment of monthly utility bills of all ministries, departments, and agencies, and report back to the House within 8 weeks. Thank you very much, as I so move.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I didn't recognize the other person at the estimate. Abbas, you are trying to forcefully take over. Yes, sir.
Ayaz Wase, the Federal Constituency, I rise to second the motion ably moved by my able brother, Honorable Kingsley Uju. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against it. It's a very straightforward motion. You wanted to add? Against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Motion referred to relevant committee of the House. Yes, sir. I'm okay. Honorable, take your seat. Respected colleagues, the fifth order of the day is a motion on need to compel the Department of Petroleum Resources to suspend charges on the offshore safety permit. Standing now, Honorable Patrick. Honorable Patrick is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Patrick Ifon, representing all the people from Eket, Eket, even an non-federal constituency of Akwa State. Mr. Speaker, I would like to step down this motion for further legislative consultations. Thank you.
Motion stepped down by the leader of the House. Respected colleagues, The ninth order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to provide the establishment of Federal University of Education, Aguleri, and for related matters standing now. Honourable members will recall the bill was committed to Committee of the Whole on Wednesday, 9 December 2020. Honourable Obidigwe Chinedu Benjamin will move for his consideration. Not on the floor of the House. If that, we step down on Chairman rules. Constitutional report stepped down by the leader of the House. Respected colleagues, the 10th order of the day is consideration of a report of the Committee on Army on the purported voluntary resignation of over 365 soldiers. Honourable members will recall that the report was laid on Tuesday, 2nd March 2021. Honourable Abdulrazak Saad Namdas will move for his consideration.
Honorable colleagues, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Abdulrazak Namdas. I represent the good people of Ganye Tongo from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Army on the purported voluntary resignation of over 365 soldiers as approved and the recommendations therein. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Seconder. Ja.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ahmed Hababao, Chibok Dambo goes a federal constituency. I rise to second the motion moved by Acting Whip of the House, Honorable Abdulrazak Saad Namdas. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Respected colleagues, Leader, please move that the House do resolve to the Committee of the Whole to consider report.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, I rise to move that the House do resolve to the Committee of the Whole to consider reports. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Seconder Engineer, Acting Deputy Leader of the House.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for the honor. I stand to move that. Okay. I stand to move that the House do resolve to the House of the Committee of the Whole. I so move. My name is Honorable Engineer Sanuwala, representing Kunchi Sanya Federal Constituency from Kano State. I'm seconding. Sorry.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. House is hereby resolved to Committee of the Whole to consider report. Respected colleagues, the report to be considered is that of the Committee on Army and on the purported voluntary resignation of over 365 soldiers. And I invite Honorable Abdrazak Saad Namdas to give the synopsis of the report.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chairman, Honorable colleagues, my name is Abdrazak Namdas. I represent the good people of Ganye, Jada, Tongoma, Belwa. I am from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, this is a report on the purported voluntary resignation of over 365 soldiers. Mr. Speaker, it's just a one clause. The term of reference is just one clause, just to investigate the cause of the voluntary resignation of the 365 soldiers. So far, Mr. Speaker, the recommendations are therein. However, during the course of our investigations, we discovered that soldiers can resign from the army after 10 years. Once you serve after 10 years, you have the right to resign from the army. And it can be voluntary or it can be compulsory. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, on the course of our findings, we discovered that not only 365 soldiers that were actually voluntarily resigned, about 386 of them resigned. And we discovered that the issues is just about welfare. And in our recommendations, we stated that to avoid mass resignation from the army, because every year in year out, people resign from the army. So we recommended that the Nigerian army should improve on the welfare of its personnel, especially those in battlefields or other combat operations, to further make them more committed to their job and to the nation at large. There should be effective monitoring or follow-up in the delivery of welfare packages in all army formations to ensure that they reach all the beneficiaries in a fair and equitable manner. Finally, the army should continually embark on orientation of soldiers, both old and new, about the reality of their job and their need to be committed to their country. This will reduce the number of soldiers leaving the army due to loss of interest. I so move this.
Respected colleagues, recommendation 1, those in favor carried. Recommendation 3, move that we revert to plenary to report progress.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for a very quick one. I rise to move that the House do revert to plenary to report progress. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I so move.
Seconder, Leader of the House, the Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndodi Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of Anyocho Federal Constituency. I'm proudly from Delta State. I rise to second the motion moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's it. As is hereby to revert to plenary to report progress. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Army on the purported voluntary resignation of over 365 soldiers and approved recommendations 1, 2, and 3 to be implemented accordingly. Mr. Leader, move for the adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. I rise to move that the report be adopted as reported. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndodi Godwin Elumelu, and I represent the good people of Anyocho Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion that we do adopt the report from the Committee of the Whole. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Chairman rules. Leader, the adjournment of the House tomorrow.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Adodogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent the good people of Tudunwada, Dogwa Federal Constituency. Honorable members, I'm from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise to move that this House do adjourn till tomorrow, Wednesday, 11 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Dode Godwin Elumelu, and I represent the good people of Anyocho Shimili Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second that we do adjourn to tomorrow, same time as moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Respected colleagues, those in favor of the motion as seconded say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. House is hereby adjourned to tomorrow, 11 a.m.